Hello there, and welcome to the 8,322nd and a half episode of the Automatch Heavyweight Championship of the World. You're loading into a game with two former world champions. Luvnest, of course, won GCS 1 back in 2017, heralding himself as the greatest player on Earth. Talisman beat him in the sequel last year in the most epic tournament final of all time, the most watched cast of all time. 580,000 last time I checked. And here he is loading in the north side of Faymanville Approach as his feared OKW. Luvnest on the flip side as the United States Forces, going as Luvnest to give himself his own German equivalent. And what better way to spend a Friday evening, or I'm probably going to upload this on Saturday morning, casting two former world champions live in Automatch. This is awesome. Why are these guys playing live in Automatch? Talisman told us that he had retired from Company of Heroes. Luvnest said he had no love for the game anymore. What could have happened? Well, if you tuned in on Sunday, you will have seen that Relic gave me permission to soft announce a huge tournament that will be coming at the end of this year. It will be the biggest tournament we've ever had. It's going to be a World Championship style format, internet-based, with a massive prize pool funded by Sega and Relic. So that's the details of it, the loose details, the format, the dates, and everything else is yet to be fully confirmed, and you will be seeing official details come out of that shortly. But that is the rumblings that have made these amazing players rise again in the last march of the Ents. Like from the sleepy forest, they're all suddenly awoken, and we're collectively Treebeard. And yeah, let's watch this game now. We've seen Luvnest do his familiar pattern of tank traps, barbed wire, terraforming the map. We see sandbags also. That, of course, comes from his rifleman field defences of the infantry company. So that's why Luvnest chooses this commander. He's big on getting as many defensive structures as he can onto the battlefield. Stern Pioneers with their first action, taking a few pot shots at the rifleman. No bullets hit. Oh, one slight bullet hits and grazes the arm. There we go. The action is now fully and officially underway. Stern Pioneers make it to the garrison, which causes Luvnest to reposition. Both god tier players are masters of Company of Heroes positioning and firefights. They are, of course, rusty as nail, submerged in gelatinous non-ionic fluid. Made that up. Sounded cool though, right? We've got rear echelons. In a last stand against two Foch Grenadiers here, just trying to keep the fuel for as long as possible. Luvnest knows it. He's trading manpower for fuel. Talisman's very different to that. He'll never really want to lose any manpower in any engagement ever. Good reinforced steel barricade coming up on this entrance to the centre. Very good indeed. More Foch Grenadiers, of course. Talisman always goes for 4. Luvnest is marooned. He does not have control of this fuel. He just has isolated ownership of it, thanks to this cutoff and the victory point being wrestled away from him. Talisman, in the meantime, is going to have fuel income. If I know my Talismans, I know that this is probably going to be a battle group headquarters. Oh, we've got a low health rifleman here. Going to see the jump inside the house most definitely. Now the jump out of it, but we do have covering fire from the other rifleman. And Talisman did not pull the trigger. He did not want to risk it. He is risk averse. He has taught himself over the past couple of years to not risk losing squads for the chance to wipe an opponent's squad. Just play better than your opponent over the course of a game with superior manpower efficiency, and you will win in the long run. That is Talisman's philosophy. Nice grenades coming in there, making the rear echelons feel the burn. They vault out of the situation. We've seen another one in the north. Lieutenant looking low. He's got a difficult retreat path. He swaps his headphones off so he gets his right, left channels correct. Really is, doesn't have the markings on. Oh god, rifleman struggling there. Car 98Ks couldn't quite get in position. And the Browning's now out. So it's gone lieutenants. Sorry, 2 rifles, one of which is retreating. Into Lieutenant, into M20 from Luvnest. So a large amount of pressure exerted. Rear echelons again suffering the burn. More fuel harassment from Talisman with superior infantry fighting force. And the 50 cal's been pretty non-effective right now because, of course, the green cover insta-gives it. M20 now on the battlefield. Let's see where it's headed. It's going to go straight north. Oh! With a handbrake turn to announce his arrival. Very stylish, fast and furious. Good cut-off manoeuvre coming in from Luvnest. Talisman's very nicely built him a sandbag wall there. Lovely of him. M20 couldn't quite get to position to give these Focus Grenadiers an issue, but we will see some pot shots on retreat from the riflemen. They're going to focus fire one of them at least. There we go. 50 cal's pushed up into the centre to take the victory point. Let's keep an eye on that because we do have this squad going south, but this rifleman will come to meet it. Keep an eye on the centre. M20 with its first kill. Now just backpedaling away from the Panzerfaust possibility. Threat of the armoured fist of the Wehrmacht. Check out the south as we have a very long-winded engagement as they both take turns to shoot bullets at this wall. Ooh, good shot, old boy. Very good. Oh, he's shot the bush this time. He missed. And some of the bullets are firing over the wall and towards each other, which is completely unsporting behaviour. Seeing a rare cap over into this east side, but it is always good to utilise the full extent of Fayetteville approach. You'll notice that Talisman's turned this barbed wire against Luvnest in a horrendous display of larceny. And here comes the M20 to ruin the sporting contest. How horrendous. Ha! Somehow the Focus Grenadiers are still winning. We saw a drop on the rifleman, and here becomes the backup. One to force away the M20. There's no negative cover on this particular point of road, so just enough to force him away. Forcing now the low health rifleman away. There's no ambulance quite yet, so maybe this is going to necessitate one now. Ooh, rear echelon's got low. Could not complete the cap on the northern victory point. M20 claims its fourth kill. Again, good reactions from Luvnest. As I say, this is not your M20. This is Luvnest M20, and it will not get fausted and killed in the first 5 minutes. It's going to be a nuisance. Here comes the aforementioned flak half-track from Battle Grouper. This is a tiny bit surprising, but we did see Talisman utilise it quite a bit in GCS. Nice! Grenade flak half-track combo. One thing I want to draw your attention to with Talisman, by the way, is no special operations doctrine. Just Overwatch, Elite Armoured, and Luftwaffe. And the reason for that is, of course, there are huge rumours of big patches later in this year which may make it very difficult to use special operations in quite the same way it's been used thus far. They want to remove call-ins. Remove the call-ins. But I think it's probably under NDA or something. But fortunately, I'm not part of that balance team. I've just heard the exact same rumours all you guys have. M20 still causing issues for Talisman. It's now claiming its 6th kill. And the KD was quite far different between Talisman and Luvnest in the early game. But now, as to say, this M20 has claimed 6 of those kills, drawing it a little bit closer together. Seen the ISG from Talisman. Going to be smoking his way into the centre, no doubt. Wait to get around the idea of this 50 kill. M20 just doing a 360 no scope. And going forwards and on into battle. Rear echelons versus more incendiary grenades. I mean, this is just delaying the STGs now, isn't it? Constantly using them. I mean, who's for me to say? Well, I mean, they are denying, of course, controlling the fuel point, so they did their job, but I'm sure the Focus Grenadiers would have done that also. I mean, of course, it's very rich of me to tell the great Talisman how to play. He is still the active world champion. It's almost like, you know, when you're a champion, you come out of retirement, do you retain your title? I would say, considering our next big 1 versus 1 tournament is yet to happen, I would say Talisman is still the world champion. Just about. I mean, Isilda did win the last 1v1 tournament we had, but, you know, it was a 16-man tournament for $500 prize fund. Not quite World Championship status, one would say. M1 in good position. Nice shot there. Let's keep an eye on this. He hasn't popped smoke. He's instead going to try and get away. Oh, my. Didn't have the munitions to pop smoke. Had to get out of there the hard way. And the M1 takes him out with time to spare. I mean, I think Luvnest may have even had a third shot there around the corner of the bush should he have needed it. M20's finally been Fausted, though. There is no backup for Talisman.
A capture point is being overrun.
There we go. There's the aforementioned smoke that Talisman is fond of using with the ISG. This, of course, is the M1918 A2. The Browning. And that's the advantage of having this steel barricade here. You can, you know, punish people on retreat a little bit, funnel them into the algorithm of your choosing. Not that Talisman's done it in this case, but he had the option. And 20 back in action. Not seeing any Raketenwerfers from Talisman at this point, just a choice of his, it seems. Now we've got Veteran C2 giving superior mobility on retreat. This could be a dead Focus Grenadier. He's going to try and block it. He's just trying to cajole it, but it didn't quite work there. Lieutenant, no, the captain, that is, my bad. It's the captain, of course. Suffering on retreat there. MG34. Getting circle strafed by the M20 at the moment. Well, in a roundabout way. It's a very large circle. Interesting. We do see Elite Armoured Doctrine from Talisman. Very spicy. Bursting through the wall. About to cause Stern Pioneers all kinds of problems. Talisman does go for the decap, though, and then retreats. So he does get the advantage of neutralising the fuel for the time being. ISG destroys the green cover. The Lieutenant carries on with the cap, though. Is this wise? He's getting low. He's getting real low. And there you go. The retreat is caused. The MG34 is there. We've also had the M20 with a engine damage. I thought he said destroyed engine. My bad. It certainly wasn't. Again, Lieutenant with a one-man retreat. I think he's had some harrowing skirmishes so far today, losing all four of his bodyguard outfit. M20 repairing its chariot back to full action preparedness. Rear echelon with the minesweeper cuts the steel barricade and then crawls into battle. Seeing the mortar unroot the MG34 from the centre. So good stuff there. We're also seeing now finally a Raketenwerfer for Talisman. M20, look at that mobility coming off the road, the acceleration, forcing the Focus Grenadiers out of cover, and then forcing them out of combat. Focus Grenadiers don't want to lose any manpower, and that is Talisman in a nutshell. As I say, he's so manpower efficient. He's even built a small log over there. It's like built a gate. Very nice. Oh, and the M20 destroys the gate. How brutal. Check out this engagement. Rifleman forced away. And Luvnest is looking like he's building himself a veritable love cathedral in the centre now. He's got so much control. And he's got support weapons out. And in positions of power.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
I mean, that, of course, now means Talisman is mansion side of the map, looking to take these territory sectors back. But that's pretty much what he's, you know, confined to at this point in time. Here come the Focus Grenadiers, though. They're going to try and move around this western side of the map now.
We're losing a capture point. Ready. Send order.
M20. And it's M1 equivalent. Trying to take out the Schwer, which has been set up. And they've already gotten 2 good shots and 3 and counting. Let's double check this engagement. The Lieutenant's again getting harassed. Oh my god, Luvnest is going for a big kill here. The well was also protecting the M1 against the flak, and it's already down to 40% health. He's got a protective guard as well with the 50 cal in position. The M20 is going to look to possibly smoke him out maybe and protect him. No. Oh, the Postgrenadier wants to destroy the last squad. The Schwer's got one piece of health remaining and it's destroyed at the 14-minute mark. This is a real bad loss for Talisman. Great for Luvnest to get the wipe there, or the kill on the Schwer. Now the M20 may go down, but it's a small price to pay. And that might even survive at this stage. Rear echelon survives.
We lost an anti-tank gun.
M1 does go down, but the captain's there to get it back should he need to. No, instead uses the rifleman. Suppose that makes sense considering the captain has the Browning, the BAR. Of course, on this faction, you do get the M191A6s, which is like the Browning, but it's more of a bipod kind of approach, more like an LMG, I think. Might have some other change to the weapon. Ooh, Ali IG loves people behind cover, but doesn't actually hit the mark. It is the again the incendiary grenade. But look at Talisman. This is the advantage of having 4 Volksgrenadiers. You can just capture the map back quite quickly. And now he's starting to get to Sturmgewehrs on them. He's going to have increased fighting capacity also. Not if the M20. Now Veterancy 3 has something to say about it. Oh, again causing him issues. It gets Fausted for its trouble, but it'll just jump out of the crew. And Luvnest comes to protect it immediately, just against the idea of a Puma. Or indeed, the idea of a Raketenwerfer. And that is how Luvnest is able to keep the M20 alive for so long. Even when it's stricken, he just comes and protects his little buddy and keeps him fighting. And mortar going to work on the house. He just hates houses, Luvnest. Well, no, actually, that's not true. He loves doorways. If you remember ESL, of course, Luvnest popularized the doorway tripwire flare and wiped many a squad with the most fucky of cheesy bullshit. It was wonderful to behold, truly was. In all 3 trucks from Talisman. Königstiger incoming possibly, who knows? Vet 3 Volksgrenadiers forcing the squad away. Stern Pioneers getting into position. MG34 watching over the centre there. And we've got all 3 tiers from Luvnest as well. Lieutenant, Captain, Major, we're having an officer's bash. Or a 5-course meal in the banquet hall of the United States Forces today. Mortar fire. Trying to get rid of the MG34 as the Volksgrenadiers march on. As the LAG returns fire against its indirect fire counterpart. That 2 Lieutenant causing pain. MG34 continues its mission though. They've gotten rid of the mortar, and that's why knew he didn't have to retreat, because he knew he was doing great work against the mortar. And now the captain comes into position. The M20 with 18 kills also. Meanwhile, we have a gathering storm on the western side. He may be getting into position. Oh! Loses the captain. Didn't see that happening. Of course, he had a great vantage point off that retreat path. Vet 4 coming in for these Volksgrenadiers, forcing Luvnest away. And Luvnest may have just gotten a bit sloppy there, losing that squad. I mean, you always expect to lose a captain or a lieutenant as the United States Forces. And the reason why is because, of course, your infantry control becomes stretched. You have so many squads, and you can't control them all and keep them all out of danger. Being forced away. We're about to see an Alpha Faust possibly. No, we just have the munitions for... No, there we go. The munitions were already taken into account when I looked at the counter. And 20, even with damaged engine, when it hits Veterancy 3, has great mobility. And he's looking to see the charge run down here. He does have the munitions, and he gets another Faustin against the M20 and destroys it. Bazooka is dropped, though, fortunately for Luvnest at least. But that is a shame. He's had 2 small losses. Well, not small. I wouldn't say a Vet 3 M20 is small. But it is 20 minutes into the game, and its power had been weakened significantly. But he does replace it with the Sherman. You can't discount these losses for Luvnest, and it must be noted that Talisman has lost nothing at this point in the game.
A capture point is under attack.
50 cal in position, just keeping fuel control for Luvnest. Meanwhile, the Sherman's going to go into battle in the south.
A capture point is being overrun.
It's these Vet 4 First Grenadiers with a real rude awakening. Don't want to linger for this second shot. He was waiting for the Raketenwerfer, and that's what happens. Ouch. Unlike Talisman, a little bit of rust there for out of practiceman against Rustnest.
We're losing a capture point.
Sherman's in good position though. No damaged engine, was able to remobilize, but the Raketenwerfer was waiting for him. Talisman was listening to him in the fog of war. Will we see a Hail Mary max range shot? No, we won't. We'll see a ground shot. Talisman going north, looking to capture the northern victory point and keep. Well, actually, that would be a triple cap. It's amazing what you can do with 4 Fudge Grenadiers and no squad wipes. Well, I said no squad wipes. Oh, and he rebuilds one immediately. Did you see that? That's well, that's the advantage of 4 Fudge Grenadiers. That's why he has rebuilt it, and it is, as I say, to keep up the map pressure. It's what you get in high level, well, elite level Company of Heroes. 2 former world champions. Is map control becomes all important, more so than the mid level even. And when I say map control, I mean more the ferocious to and fro battling at all times in the game. So it's not like our understanding of map control, where you just send a few squads here to try and get the fuel points and standard territory points when you can. These guys are fighting for everything at any time in the battle. It's like an evolving war that is ever moving, a war of movement, and it creates a real beautiful tale, and also tests their micro to the limit, because they should have more to offer in that regard. ST Sturmgewehrs on the retreat path, 7 of them blaring, more of them adding, but the rifleman with a handy retreat path making it around the cusp of the building. The Sherman's ready to tango once more. Lieber's Nest doesn't actually have that much fuel though. And of course now with the 3 truck scenario. Oh, what am I on about? 2 trucks, I'm an idiot. He just rebuilt the Schwer. He could have gone for King Tiger, that would have been exciting, right? Rebuilt it in a really defensive position though now. Shermans, 2 of them. My bad. Didn't keep count of Luvnest's fuel. And it's Talisman that's paying the price. Raketenwerfer could take him out. Oh, what unlucky miss there. Nice block from this Sherman. Couldn't quite make it work there, Talisman. This Raketenwerfer was getting circle strafed. Good use of smoke. Must have been from the defending Sherman here. Raketenwerfer's been decrewed. Now going to go for the weapon destroy, but the other Raketenwerfer's trying to hold the line. Got a Panzer IV in the build. He's made it around the edge of his cone of fire. Is he going to go for the steal here? He has the manpower. Here comes a Vet 5 Foch Grenadier. He's got to go for it. Takes it. Oh, God. Again, decrewing the recrew weapon. Now paving the way for Luvnest to take the Raketenwerfer. We've also seen the decrew of the other one. Could this be the fall of Talisman's army? Not if the Panzer IV has anything to say about it, of course. We're seeing incendiary rounds coming in from the MG34. The Sherman destroys his green cover. Damaged engine from the Foch Grenadier. Again, recrews the Raketenwerfer. Talisman's battling hard to keep his foothold in this battle. Nice shots go in. Sherman needs to get out of that cone of fire. Another shot goes in. Going to reposition now. Fresh Sherman makes its way onto the battlefield. Again decrews it. 4-man squad takes the shot, and we've seen a recrew on the west. Didn't even need the Panzer IV. Takes out one of the Shermans. Oh, good shot from the M1 though. Panzer IV with a real sordid first engagement. Rifleman forced away. Second Sherman struggling against Raketenwerfer fire. Again with those 4-man Volksgrenadiers. Sorry, 4 squads of Volksgrenadiers. 5 squads of Volksgrenadiers rather. He is able to recrew the weapons and keep the weapons, and that is the advantage. I mean, this guy here, he's been freshly built. The one that just recrewed the weapon there. That just shows the point. Another Sherman in the build here. Luvnest going for a really mobile and fluid army. Wonder why Talisman's gone for elite armoured then. It's an interesting doctrine to go for. I mean, I think he gets high explosive anti-tank shells, doesn't he? Yeah, he does, so he could use them. What else does he get? Panzer commanders, he can use them on his Panzer IV. But your eye is immediately drawn to, of course, the Sturmtiger. But of course, that's a rarity in Elite Level 1 versus 1. Because the reaction times and the situational awareness is too great, and you can just dodge the shots too easily of the huge 240mm rockets.
AT gun ready.
What am I know about? It's even bigger than that.
Tank support is here.
38 centimeters rather. The second Sherman is built again, so it's the third Sherman built this game. As the first one is rocking out the north, forcing away the Volksgrenadiers. Talisman's trying to get back into the centre. He's creeping forward with the Raketenwerfers. The Sturm Pioneers have repaired the Panzer IV to tank in record time. Veteracy 2 with the blowtorches out, and of course the battle package. Support package rather. Crazy repair times. Oh, nice wipe there of the 50 cal. Good pop shot. And then gets out of harm's way. Vet 5 First Grenadiers do not want to be lost, but Talisman's trying to use them as bait, and Luvnest senses it. Oh, nice wipe there from the ISG. Now claiming its 10th kill and keeping up the pressure. Both Raketenwerfer spring into action. Luvnest put his Sherman in harm's way and nearly paid the ultimate price. ISG's firing. What are you doing, Rifleman? That could be dangerous. Very dangerous. Raketenwerfer's now turned their focus on the other Sherman. Is Luvnest a bit blocked in here? He doesn't seem to be moving with this Rifleman squad. Could be suffering a bug, it seems. It's the only way I can explain it. There he goes, finally able to retreat there. May have got blocked in by a map feature or something. Feature TN. Sherman being repaired very slowly by the Vet 1 rear echelon squad. What am I on about? The vehicle crew, rather. I had a hard week at work just to correct any of my past inaccuracies. I'll always say it when I'm casting late on a Friday night. It's a little bit difficult to get to grasp with the game at times, but I do try. I'm a trier. You have to give me that at least. Major making a fatal last stand against the onslaught. Gets out before the grenade hits. Still loses a model though, unfortunately for him. Panzer IV on the move. To go toe to toe with Luvnest in the centre. The M1 is now matched by another M1. There's 3 of them in total. You've got to be joking. He's gone for a 3 AT gun build to build a veritable wall of AT. Elsewhere, he's put the incendiary grenade on the retreat, so the models get wrapped up in the fire as they exit the doorway. Luvnest showing a bit of rust there. Didn't retreat instantly after evacuating the premises. Almost lost because of it. These have the M20 Cruise bazooka. We've had a gun crew wiped. Again, the ISG causing so many problems. It's now up to Veterancy 4 with 15 kills. Shermans are on the move. It was indeed the mortar getting wiped yet again in this game for the second time. What a good game we're watching. This is all over the place in just the right way. It's feeling like we're building towards a real epic late game battle. Eager to see how Talisman adds to his Panzer core. He's just got the Panzer 4 at the moment. He's hitting 150 fuel very shortly. M1 with some good shots. Sherman looking to follow up in kind. Turns his attention onto the Stern Pioneers instead. 50 cal's going to be stolen here. Probably. Throws in the incendiary. So rare to not see infiltration grenades from a top level OKW player. In major difficulty. Forced away. Here come the Shermans. Will he dare take the 50 cal now? He can hear the rumbling of the treads in those diesel engines. Tree becomes animated and launches itself into battle. I said the Ents were on the move. Getting brutalized on retreat here. Vet 3 rifles adding to it with that LMG. Rakettenwerfer waits though. Sherman low. Are we going to see a shot at max range? We're also seeing incendiary rounds on the M1AT gun. We can't see anything to take out. M1AT gun goes down. Stern Pioneers push forward. We've got another M1 waiting though, forcing away this Panzer 4. 2 rifleman squads daring the Rakettenwerfers to get too close. Rear echelons possibly biting the dust. 50 cal repositions. Still with the other one not fully occupied. Panzer 4 gets into position, misses though. Sherman gets behind the safety of the central house. Talisman given something to chew on there and reconsider his push into the centre. Oh, brilliant shot by the M1. Is there any follow-up though? Where's the northern M1? Not in position, unfortunately. Well, all 3 actually were in the centre. He had put them there.
A capture point is under attack.
The other one's still unoccupied. Nice flank here. And now he's using time on target artillery. You don't want to stay in that position anymore because the bombs are going to start falling. Could have hurt the first grenadier on retreat there. Still could. No, it's alright. Mortar. Well, that wasn't mortar fire at all. It was the Sherman, it seems, at max range perhaps. Forcing away the first grenadiers. Another Sherman in the build. We do have this one. Well, he's meant to be repairing. Come on, guys. We've got a water win. Knocking over a telegraph pole. Removing Talisman's line of communications. ISG count still on 15. Hasn't found a kill for a while. Could be due to the medium cover spanning the entirety of the battlefield now with that reduced damage without the increased, well, reduced spread. Green cover tends to reduce your spread, which leaves you victim to, of course, the indirect fight. Medium cover doesn't quite have the same spread reducing effect at times. Nice kill by the Panzer 4 again. That's 2 decrewed 50 cals. Oh no, he's taken the one in the south and he's put it here. Destroying the weapon now. And the house. Panzer 4 pushes forward. The M1 was waiting. Are we going to see sabot rounds? Not quite. Lieutenant forced away. 3rd Sherman on the field. Pintle mount upgrading. Rakettenwerfers slowly push forward.
Down to 200 points. Sherman ready to go.
Sherman ready to go. GCS initials on his rear, stamped for eternity. In real life as well. After GCS 1, of course, Luvnest got a huge tattoo of GCS on his ass in Leicester. Little known fact there. May have been made up, but it's also now a fact. Much in the same way Donald Trump tweets becomes fact. I'd love to be seen as the Donald Trump of the Company Heroes 2 community. Gonna make Company Heroes great again. It's gonna be huge. Panther on the way. This is not, of course, the Special Operations Panther. This is a traditional OKW Panther, and that makes it better. It's not a call-in vehicle. You have to work for this one. It looks cooler, right? Oh yeah. Sherman caused him Rakettenwerfer issues. Tell you what, Luvnest's in a position to march on now. He's getting really good, but here comes the Panzer. Is this Talisman with a rare show of aggression? It could be just that. He's trying to destroy the crew of this Vet 2 M1, but he's got backup. Meanwhile, the Panther forces its way into combat. The vehicle crew, rather, recrews the weapon. The weapon being that medium tank. We've got the Panzer IV did decrew the M1, is now low on health. This Sherman's going to go around the rear. We've had a decrew on the Rakettenwerfer that would have been there, so should be safe. 2 Shermans are now constantly going to avenge their fallen comrade. Luvnest without the presence of mind to reposition his M1 in time, and that means he won't be able to finish off the Panther. And it does mean that Talisman was the victor in that tank skirmish. Panther low on health. You have to wait for the Vet 4 Stern Pioneers to repair. Somehow, despite seemingly Luvnest with a superior map control, Talisman is still in the game. I completely made the wrong point there. I thought Talisman had the better victory point count, but it is indeed Luvnest, 295 to 114. Vet 5 on the MG34. Causing Luvnest problems. He can't get the flank off, and the Major can't finish the game off. Talisman still surviving with 1 victory point. Needs to get these tanks back to health, full health very shortly. Panzer IV is going to try and go south. We do have this Rakettenwerfer waiting for him though. Luvnest with the ever so slightly rusty reaction times there. He just seems to have had the strategic kind of build order that's countered Talisman's operation though. One could argue. The Panther is almost battle ready once more. Panther may not be needed though, because the Panzer IV is doing its role. Another shot required. Couldn't quite get it in. Rakettenwerfer was positioning. Finally Talisman getting the wherewithal to send a Foot Grenadier north. And a Foot Grenadier south. It's because he's just hit double-digit figures. His feel for the ebb and flow of battle doesn't seem to be quite there at this point in time. That's what happens when it's your first game of the year, or possibly second or third. I believe he started Automatch up tonight and met Luvnest in his second or third game. It's almost fateful that when both players... I mean, you have to say that the algorithm for the match making does actually work. You know, that's one of the few things that is solid in this game, and although it does take a long time to find a game, you can be sure that it's finding you the right kind of opponents, if it's within 5 minutes at least. Panther in good position here. You see the M1 go down. Sherman's being forced away, but we've got a bit of a pathing issue there, or a reversing issue. The telegraph pole is sent to us from the skies above. ISG trying to get rid of the 50 cal. Let's go back to our normal camera angle, lest you get disorientated. Oh, nice work by the Shermans here. That Foot Grenadier does not stand a chance. Panzer IV hits Veterancy 3. Could go into combat. Panther also, but there's an M1 waiting. You will notice that Talisman's now got a triple cap off on Luvnest. Low health, danger close for this rifleman. Will Luvnest see it? No, he won't. There are those delayed reaction times. The big German behemoth. He's not quite well oiled at this point, and he's paying the price as Talisman is now clearing up on those destroyed support weapons. Destroying the weapon there. What are we going to see perhaps? We are entering fuel territory now for both players. Luvnest, of course, is currently bottlenecked on manpower. Talisman is nearing resources, though, to perhaps think about building another weapon. M1 was able to be recrewed, and the rear echelons are standing by. Oh, he takes out the ambulance. Brutal war crimes by the Panther as it starts to enter the field, and Luvnest has thrown in the towel. He saw the writing on the wall. I know the trick to get rid of that. You have to unpause. Well, there you go. Pause the game, and the resurgence of Talisman's Panzer Corps. It was almost like he was just lying in wait. He waited for his tanks to be fully repaired. The victory point situation, he wasn't really bothered about that, and then he saw his opportunity and tied Luvnest up in knots. Also, you have to say Luvnest's endurance, his fatigue settled in as his endurance waned, and yeah, he had to throw in the towel there. Good play by Talisman, and what we're able to see now is the journey of these two players as we journey towards this epic, best ever, massive Supremo tournament later this year. I'm sure it's not going to be called that, by the way. It's probably going to be called something else, more dry, perhaps. And here we go. There's the overview. Talisman's KD wasn't that great in the end because his own endurance started to fail, but obviously Luvnest failed harder, one would say. Points held, showing the ebb and flow of battle, especially in the late game. There's some huge swings, and the personal statistics. Luvnest's M1AT gun was his MVP. For Talisman, it was of course the Foch Grenadiers, but the Panzer IV. I mean, shout out to that with 3 vehicle destroyers, not bad at all. I've been AE. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all your support over the course of the 2vs2 Masters Cup. It's great seeing you all turn out in the stream. And yeah, be looking out for great things and a lot more top players practicing an auto match. So it's going to be an exciting time. Thank you and goodbye.